What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today with the review for Tyler Perry's Sistas on BET Season 6, Episode 6. Episode is titled Mending Fences, you guys. So, before we go ahead and get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys aren't subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning your post notifications on, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further adu, let's discuss Sistas on BET, shall we? All right, you guys. So here's something that I want to a question that I want to pose to you guys. So you guys know that I've been doing some lives, and I appreciate everybody who shows up to the lives during the live and those who show up after the live. I appreciate you guys. My lives are actually doing better than my pre-recorded videos, and I'm cool with that. I wish I could give you guys more lives, like do more shows live, but unfortunately with my work schedule, it's just not possible. So I have to do it when I can give it to you. But something that I'm thinking about doing going forward is doing more pre-recorded videos, but debuting them as premieres where I'm in a live chat with you guys and we're having a conversation. Let me know if you guys would like that, because I know that the premieres that I've done, the first one that I did, it did really well, and then the last one that I did was Summer House Martha's Vineyard. I don't know how that one did, but I know that the first one, which was Power Book 2 Ghost, that one did well. So I guess we'll continue to do that. But let's get into Sistas. So this episode, for me, this episode wasn't like, the best. So I don't know how long this review is gonna be, but we open up this episode and we are over at Danny's apartment. So Danny wakes up and she's in bed with Preston. Now, the thing that confused me was, so Danny kept, Danny didn't, she literally had her bra on, but her bra straps were down, or that she just had one of those bras that just go around, because she's sitting here and, she's trying to figure out why is Preston in the bed with her. So at one point she put her shawl, her cover up on, right? And I was like, you can see the black on her bra, like it's literally covering her up. But that's neither here nor there, right? So Preston said that when Danny got home the night before, that as soon as she walked in the house, she jumped his bones, right? So they had sex. So then this scene, much like I said last week, this scene was very long. For what reason, I don't know. So, she's telling Preston that, he needs to go. She got to get ready for work. And then she told him to go find that girl. So he told her that Mending had left, right? Mending is stupid, and that's all I got to say about Mending. So he also told her that the night before, during them having sex, she recorded them. She took pictures of them. And, Dan was like, I am never smoking again. I'm like, girl, that's a lie. And then he said that Danny told him that she does love him, but she's afraid of getting hurt. But I think we all kind of figured that when it comes down to Danny, that Danny does love Preston. It's just the fact that she's afraid of getting hurt. And you guys know my sentiments about Danny, Preston, Zach, Fatima, and not Gary and Andy, but Karen and Aaron, all of them, even Sabrina and Calvin. I don't understand how they're so in love with these people, and it's a very short time frame, but that's neither here nor there, right? So then we move over to Andy's place. So Andy's, getting ready to go into the office, and she calls Fatima, and she left Fatima a message because I guess they had some client that was coming in at 5, but she needs to push it up, right? So when Karen came in, both Karen and Andy said they had something to say to each other, right? So Andy said, okay, well, Karen, how about you go first? So Karen told Andy that, Pam told her to call Zach, and she was like, for what? She was like, well, Pam said I should call him because he did offer to help rebuild my salon. Karen, that is a you problem, that you didn't have the insurance. Then it's a you problem because, you didn't the money that Zach gave you. Why don't you use that money to go build your salon, right? So Andy asked her, well, how did that conversation go? She said, Zach is willing to help her, but then Fatima came in and it got very cryptic. And so here's my thing with Karen. When Fatima came, when you asked him, is she there? And he said yes, and you kept trying to poke, trying to get him to say, I love you and all that kind of stuff. You should have said, okay, well, Zach, I appreciate you for, saying that you are willing to help me with the salon. I'm gonna let you go to deal with whatever that is that you got to deal with. Like Karen, you guys know how I feel about Karen. You guys know that Karen gets on my nerves. And Andy was like, but again, why go to Zach? I offered to help you. She's like, but I want his money. Why? What you're trying to do is drive a wedge between Zach and Fatima. That is exactly what Karen is doing. So then they talked about the baby, right? Because Karen ended like, you need to have a girls' day. And she was like, but they gonna ask about the baby's father. I mean, I think we all want to know the answer to that. Who is the father? And she's like, but I want to talk to him first. Which him? Zach or Aaron? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Do you guys like? I don't know where Tyler's going with this storyline. And what I will say with this storyline is, for season 7, since I've read that he got writers for season 7, I really hope that we advance this storyline. Like, we need to move this storyline forward. I would even be remiss if we did like what they did with the game, because you guys remember that last season, that season that Tasha was pregnant on the game. Tasha found out she was pregnant one episode. The next 2 episodes, she was 3 months pregnant. Then I think by the finale, Tasha had that baby. Karen has been pregnant for what, 2 seasons now, and she still is not showing, and it's really getting on my nerves at this point. But that's neither here nor there, right? So they talked about the man that's in Karen's salon. It is the homeless man, and I just was like so y'all did a dental record on that man that fast, and the mayor just happens to pull a little weight to get that information for Gary. Okay, Tyler, I mean, it's your world, and I'm just living in it, right? So Karen says, well, she asked Andy, well, what did you want to talk about? So Andy said, well, I was a little high last night, and Gary came over, and basically, I told Gary the real truth, that if it wasn't for the good sex, he wouldn't be around. And Karen's like, that's the truth, and he needed to hear that. And then it's like, maybe I needed to hear it as well. So then, Karen says, we've been trying to tell you that. I think a lot, and yeah, y'all definitely have been trying to tell Andy about Gary, but I can't even say it's the heart wants what the heart wants. It's Andy's vagina that wants him. But the man is toxic. The man is psycho. Like, there are a slew of other things that I can say about Gary, but that's the nicest thing that I can say about Gary. But we're gonna pause here and move forward, you guys. 8 minutes, huh? All right, you guys. So next up, we see Danny. So Danny went into the bathroom and she calls Sabrina, and she's telling Sabrina, like, Sabrina, I am not smoking anymore. And Sabrina was like, but Danny, you say that every time. Did you do something stupid, Danny? Danny said, yeah, I did something stupid, Sabrina. The fact that she said that you did something stupid, why would you say that to your, like, if that's my best friend, you guys, I talk about my best friend all the time. If my best friend texts me or calls me and she said, I did, I'm never doing this again, I was like, girl, what did you do? Like, what happened? I'm not gonna say, oh, you did something stupid, because that's not, I wouldn't say that to my friend, my best friend, my sister. I'm not gonna sit there and say to her, you did something stupid, didn't you? I'm like, girl, what did you do? Like, give me the tea. Because that's all I'm going to say to her is just, what did you do? Like, let me know. So you got high last night. Mm-hmm. So what happened because of that? Like, that's the questions I'm going to ask. And it's actually a funny story that actually happened. Like in 2017, it was so hilarious. So quick little story time, you guys, about this one. And I am going to give you guys a story time about the first time that I took an edible. But this is 2017. My best friend and I, we were talking about edibles, right? So we both said we wanted to try edibles. And I was like, oh, I said, I work with a girl who knows somebody who can get some edibles for us. So she's like, okay. She said, how much is it, right? I said, well, let me ask them tomorrow when I get to work, and I'll let you know. So I asked the coworker, and she's like, oh, it's such and such, right? And she sent me a list of what the person made, brownies, snickerdoodles, and all that kind of stuff, right? So I was like, oh, I got the list. So I texted her the list, and she's like, okay. So we put in our orders, right? And, I told her, I'm going to pay for it, but you just send me the money for your portion, and, we'll work it. It'll work that way, right? So did that. We got our orders. I took it to her, and Actually, what we did was, since it was we didn't know how big the brownies were, so we just said, how about, it was a pan. Actually, that's what it was. It was a pan. So we said we'll split it. I said, that's what happened. We split it. So I gave her half, and I gave her half, and then she gave me the other half, right? So she ate. When I tell you guys, she chugged the piece. She took a piece of it and chugged it down. I was like, well, better you than me. Tell me how that works out. So she texted me the next day and she told me how it went. And I was like, oh, you had a time, didn't you? So then about a month, because I waited, because after she told me her experience, I was like, oh shit, bitch, do I want to be that high? Because she said she was high for hours. I was like, damn, do I want to be high for hours? I was like, not really. Like, that scared the shit out of me. Like, I like being high, but I don't like being that damn high. So I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna tell you guys my little snippet, because I said it was about a month later that I ate mine. Ooh, that was an experience that I will never forget. But it was a fun experience, but it was like a scary experience at the same time. But like I said, I'm gonna give you guys that in a story time at some point. I don't know when, so don't ask. But I would never. Even when she did that, I didn't ask her, "Did you do something stupid?" I just asked her, "Girl, what? Tell me what that high was like, right?" And she told me. So Sabrina is telling Danny that she can't really talk because she has to go get Maurice because they're gonna go meet this lawyer that Bio got for them. So then we see Fatima. So Fatima is at the house and she snuck out for work, and Zach didn't know she had left. So his phone rang and it was Karen calling somebody. "You still coming to the salon?" He said, "What time is it?" She said, "It's 7:45. He was like, "Give me about 45 minutes. She said, "Okay, that gives me time to get breakfast. Do you want something?" He said, "No, I'm good." I'm like, Karen, you are really trying to put this on thick. You think that Fatima is around, because she even asked, is Fatima going to be okay with him meeting up with her? You know she's not okay with that, Karen. Like, again, I see what Karen is doing, and I'm already over it at this point. But let's pause here and move forward, you guys. All right, you guys, so next up, let's talk about Hayden's old stupid ass. So Hayden went down to Gary's office, and somebody made a mention of Gary in my comments recently, or it was on Twitter. Where is Gary's family? Is Jasmine still in jail? Because, we have not mentioned Jasmine at all. I don't know if Jasmine and her homegirls are still in jail for trying to beat up Andy in their parking lot. I don't know where they are. Gary's kids. 1 minute we knew Gary didn't have, like, at one point Gary and her didn't have kids, but then Tyler wrote in they did have kids, or it's reverse. I forget which one. I forget which way it went. But where is Gary's imaginary kid? I think Gary got imaginary kids, but hey, it is what it is, right? So Tyler also forgot what he wrote in that script about Hayden and Tamara, because Hayden said in this scene that Tamara talked about going to Miami, but she changed it and said she wanted to go to Vegas. And I was like, Tyler, that's not what you wrote. If you remember, and that was just a few episodes ago, when Tamara went to the office, when Fatima yoked her up and she was taking him lunch, she went into the office. He said, he told her to pack, she didn't need to pack nothing because he has to go to Miami to meet a client, and he wanted her to come with her. And that's when they went to the airport. But now you're saying that y'all went to Vegas and you got married to her. I was like, Tyler, I really need you to keep the continuity with your scripts. Hayden asked Tamara to go to Miami because he had a client that he was meeting in Miami. I think Tyler forgot that, because I know that for a fact that he told her he was going to Miami and he wanted her to come with him. But it is what it is, right? So Gary is like, well, why don't you get the marriage annulled? Because he kept saying he doesn't know her like that. He said, okay, get it annulled. You're a lawyer. But then he was like, but I do kind of like her, but I don't know nothing about her. So Gary was like, but you said you vetted her. He did not vet that woman. So he gives Gary her name. So Gary's going to vet her. Okay, it is what it is, right? So then Gary is still in his feelings about what happened with him and Andy the night before. And Hayden is so stupid, thinking that Andy only wants Gary for his money. I'm like, but what about this woman that you just married in Vegas that you don't know? You're an attorney. I'm pretty sure you got some money to your name, and you just married a random stranger. You don't think that random stranger wants your money? But okay. So Sabrina, she went to go get Maurice, right? And the thing that was funny to me was the fact that Sabrina called Calvin's apartment, not the apartment, called his furniture tacky. I was like, damn. If Sabrina calls it tacky, you know it's tacky because Sabrina is tacky. So Maurice came out in, I don't know what that was that Maurice had on. I was like, Maurice, what is this, right? So when he came out, Sabrina was like, Maurice, you're not ready. Like, we're going to go meet this lawyer. And Maurice's whole thing is, I don't want to go meet this lawyer because Bio is the one that hired this lawyer. And Bio doesn't like me because I'm gay. And Sabrina continuously defends Bio. I'm like, Sabrina. I need you to use your brain. Go back to the last time you were with Bio and Maurice and how repulsed he was. He wasn't repulsed by Maurice because of anything other than his sexuality. So the man is homophobic. And I just don't understand how Sabrina didn't see it. So Sabrina was like, you know what, Maurice, I'm going to go meet the lawyer. So Calvin was like, you know, once she left, Calvin was like, you really do need to go see that lawyer and hear what he has to say, right? So Calvin said, I'll take you to your favorite restaurant. He said, I can get whatever I want. He said, yes. He said, okay, well, that's all you have to say, bitch. The fact that he kept calling Calvin a bitch was hilarious to me. So let's pause here, you guys, and go ahead and move forward. All right, you guys, so we're over at the law office. So Andy is talking to Fatima, and Fatima was in a little bit of a bad mood. And I was sitting here thinking to myself, Fatima, this attitude that you have toward Andy, I don't understand it. Fatima is actually having the same attitude that Karen has when, you know, it comes to Fatima. I was like, I get that Fatima's upset about Zach, right? And rightfully so. But Andy ain't got nothing to do with that. Your issue is with Zach. And you can also say that you have an issue with Karen. But like I said in last week's review, I get Fatima's standpoint that Zach, you know, when Pam came and said this, you know, she burned up in the fire, and that Zach just was jetted out of the office. And then when they found out Karen was alive, he was the first one to hug Karen. I get Fatima's upset and being frustrated about that situation. But like I also said, you have to, excuse me, like I said last week, you also have to take into account that Zach was in a 3-year relationship with Karen. So yes, there is still love between Zach and Karen. And he also doesn't know if this is his baby or not. So we got to give, I ain't giving Zach too much leeway, but I'm going to give him a little leeway, right? I ain't giving him too much because, yes, what he did, especially in that office, when he left out and left Fatima in there, that was straight up disrespectful. That was disrespectful to your lady. And then when Karen showed up and she wasn't, you know, deceased, I can give him that one because that is relief. But I mean, damn, you could have at least let her girls hug her first. So I want you guys to tell me what you guys think down in the comment section below, right? So Zach came down to the office and Fatima didn't want to talk to him. So then Fatima left and went to Andy's office. So it was Zach and Andy talking. And Zach doesn't understand why he's in a doghouse. And I'm like, Zach, even Andy had to say, you left out of here. He said, we all did, but you were the first one to leave and you left your partner behind. Absolutely. So Andy did ask him, why are you helping Karen? He says he just wants to help. And Andy said, stop. I was like, exactly, Zach. And Zach, you don't see what, and I don't want nobody to come to my comments because I don't want nobody coming to my comments defending Karen because you can't defend Karen. There's nothing to defend Karen in this situation. Karen knows what she's doing. Karen is being manipulative for a point. She is, like I said earlier, I feel like Karen is trying to drive a wedge between Zach and Fatima. She sees a little inch, so she's gonna take a whole mile. Like she's doing that, and here's my issue with Karen, right? Like Andy said in the beginning, it was like with your relationship with Zach, you talked about how Zach wasn't this and Zach wasn't that, and it really I feel like it's a situation of I was there for that man when he didn't have anything, and now he's gotten all this stuff, and she's reaping the benefits of what I didn't get to experience. And I do feel bad for Karen in that respects, but he's moved on. But then Fatima, she was in an office with Andy. She took her ring off, and she said she knows Zach's emotions, right? And she heard Zach on the phone with Karen, and it sounded like Zach is still in love with Karen. I can see that. Let me know what you guys think about that, and we'll pause here, you guys, and wrap up this episode. All right, you guys. So we see Sabrina. So Sabrina went to go meet with the attorney, and Maurice and Calvin came in. The one thing I will say about Maurice in this particular situation that I did not like in this scene was how disrespectful and how rude he was, talking about the decor of that man's office, and just cussing up a storm in that man's office. Like, Maurice, granted, Bio may have hired him, but this man is looking at this case and he's trying to give you he's trying to tell you from his legal expertise how this case looks, and you're being disrespectful as hell. So he tells them about Q having a long record, which absolutely. And then he's like, Q's not a credible witness. Absolutely. But the most damning piece of evidence, which I'm like, how is that recording damning? I'm still so confused about how that recording is damning. If you listen to that recording of Maurice, he's being facetious, and even Maurice said, you can hear that I'm joking, because he said that what really hurts him is that recording that Q has, which it really is. But here's the thing: any good lawyer can have that thrown out, because Maurice, like he said, Maurice and Sabrina don't have a record. That helps you. You can say my clients don't have a record of anything, but then you have him who has a rap sheet as long as my forearm, as long as my arm is, and you can place reasonable doubt on Q. You can do that. So he tells them that he's trying to get the case thrown out, but the DA doesn't want that. And if they go to trial, that they can face up to 15 years in prison. I was like, how can they face up to 15 years in prison if they don't have a record? Again, that them not having a record should help them. That should give the judge more, the judge should be more lenient on them, because they have no prior offenses. So I didn't understand how that could happen, but okay. Again, this is Tyler Perry's world, and we just living in it, ain't we? So then we see Karen. She's down at the salon, and Pam showed up, and Aaron was already there cleaning up the salon, and the body has been moved. I was like, Aaron, I get it. You want to help, right? But hasn't Karen asked you for space like I don't know how many times at this point, and you just refuse to give that woman any kind of space? So he told her that the salon isn't that bad, and Zach showed up, and so Aaron and Pam went inside, and Karen and Zach were outside talking, and who pulled up? Fatima pulled up, and that was where the episode ended, you guys. But I want you guys to tell me what you guys thought about this episode down in the comment section below. Subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, you guys. Share the video, and until the next time, stay safe out there, you guys. Take care of yourself. Wash your hands. Be blessed, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.